Gigi is honestly one of the most unique, mystifying, confusing, and contradictory brawlers in the game. Imagine an assassin who does best not against one brawler, but against multiple people, or even an entire team at once. Imagine an assassin who not only doesn't counter, but gets countered by throwers. Well, you don't have to imagine, because that's exactly what Gigi is. In this video, we'll talk about those two topics, and of course, much more, including Noob stomping. If you want a fun place to talk about Brawl Stars or participate in our 1v1 ranked system called Gauntlet and just general stuff, join our Discord server. Link will be in the description. Also, make sure to subscribe to keep up with the PowerPoints, and finally, if you want to help support the channel and become a member, you also get to choose new PowerPoint brawlers and help me out, as my members chose Gigi to be the second mythic. Let's start out with the basics with Gigi, though she doesn't really have many basics. First of all, her main attack. Gigi's main attack is similar to Carl's super in that it's a spinning attack. This attack technically has 10 ammo, and she deals 1200 per ammo. The hit frequency increases the more ammo is used up at once, and her movement speed increases by 20%. She also has one of the shortest ranges in the game, and one of the fastest reload speeds in the game. Finally, she has a trait in which if a projectile goes through a 2.4 tile radius of her, she charges her super. Now, her super. Gigi creates two teleporters, one where she teleports to, and one where she teleports from. It takes her 0.8 seconds to teleport, and once she teleports, she instantly charges her super and gains a yellow bar that takes 3 seconds to deplete. If she uses her super, she deals 3000 damage and teleports to the first teleporter. If the bar depletes, Gigi loses her super and is stuck there. Even with just the basics, you can tell there's a lot going on with Gigi. First of all, Gigi is an extremely mobile, fast-paced dive character. When playing her, you're basically always forced to be doing something. Most of the time, you'll be forced to get right into the thick of the battle, as you have to get your super from dodging projectiles. But once you get your super, all hell breaks loose. With Gigi's gameplay, it's extremely time limited and fast paced. You go in, you eliminate the target or targets, and you leave immediately. Or you use the escape damage to eliminate the enemies. Waiting too long will leave you stranded and either let your enemy win the battle or their teammates to avenge them. Timing the super right is also of vital importance, as you need to leave the moment you realize the battle won't go your way, or the moment you realize you've got them below 3000 health. Overall, you need to be very prepared when using Gigi's super, and it's not as easy as it looks. But what exactly did I mean when I said Gigi's actually very good against multiple brawlers, maybe even better than against a solo target? Well, looking at Gigi's main attack, it's pretty similar to Jackie or Trunk's attack, and can hit multiple targets that are grouped up. However, where it truly shines is in the supercharge. Gigi can easily charge up her super in ridiculous speeds when facing off against multiple brawlers. First of all, the abundance of projectiles, which is twice or thrice that of a single brawler. Second, being able to hit multiple brawlers at once is incredible for her supercharge. So, if she's able to get into a battle with multiple brawlers at once, she actually has a really good chance. Much better than basically every other assassin, allowing her to team wipe if done right. Next, let's talk about her confusing matchups. First of all, against damage dealers. Funnily enough, this might be her best one. First of all, their health isn't too high, so it's not too difficult for Gigi to be able to kill them. Furthermore, they often struggle against the sheer mobility that Gigi has with all her teleporting. However, the most important part comes with the projectile mechanic. Damage dealers often have the most projectiles out of every brawler class. I mean, look at brawlers like Colt, Rico, Pearl, and Lola. Because of this, Gigi can easily charge up her super and punish them. One of her confusing matchups has to be against tanks. You would think they would have too much health for Gigi to burst down. Furthermore, they somehow have more range than Gigi, and of course can have big DPS themselves, especially in the case of brawlers like Daryl or Bull. However, against some tanks like Frank, she can cook them if played right. as she can potentially deal 15,000 damage with her entire main attack and super. She also has an interesting matchup against marksmen, who are famous for having a single projectile only, which can make it difficult for Gigi to charge her super fast, especially considering her pathetic range. However, the most interesting matchup has to come with her matchup against throwers. Throwers, interestingly, counter Gigi for the most part. This is because most of their projectiles actually don't charge Gigi's super. So, as long as you play smart, Gigi literally can't do anything, since she can't get close enough to damage you to get her super, nor will she get any supercharge from you hitting her. Of course, the moment Gigi gets her super, it's all over. But even still, it's a very interesting matchup that you have to be very cautious of when facing off against, as is Gigi. Finally, let's talk about noob stomping. Gigi is uniquely suited to noob stomping actually, and first of all, it all has to do with their super projectile mechanic. Noobs are much more likely to 1. Miss their shots, so Gigi has less risk, and 2. Continually shoot, missing the fact that Gigi gets super from each new shot. So, Gigi can get her super much easier from noobs due to this. And of course, noobs tend to group up, and as I said earlier, Gigi punishes grouping up quite severely. She can easily get in, destroy enemies, and either get out quickly, or just continually farm her super to team wipe easily, which is made even easier with her hypercharge. Overall, if you know how to play Gigi and you're facing noobs, there's genuinely no excuse to not absolutely destroy them. Let's now talk about Gigi's unlockable, starting with her gadgets. Gigi's first gadget is longer strings, which increases her charge area. This is actually really useful, as it allows her more safety when trying to charge her super, as well as more opportunities to give her super. Gigi's second gadget creates an invisibility cloak of sorts in a 2-tile radius for 3 seconds. This gadget is quite awful, and that's all that needs to be said. Now, her star powers. Gigi's first star power increases her supercharge rate by 30% if no damage has been received for 3 seconds. This can be really solid and useful in the right situations, but also requires a bit of skill to pull off properly. Gigi's second star power is Helping Hand, which sees Gigi heal 2400 damage after initially teleporting. This can be very useful in the right situations and just gives Gigi more chances to live, which is quite important for her. Finally, her hypercharge. This sees Gigi also deal damage when teleporting, just like when she's leaving. Her hyper is pretty easy to charge up, so that's nice, but nothing too crazy overall. It does give her nearly 6,000 guaranteed damage, so as long as you don't screw up, you should get a guaranteed kill or 2, so overall, a really good hypercharge. Overall, Gigi is honestly one of the most interesting brawlers I've covered yet. Her matchups and her overall design are so contradictory to what your typical assassin is, yet she basically perfectly fits into the class as a dive assassin. Furthermore, her ability to gain supercharge from missed shots is extremely interesting, and also allows her to be, you guessed it, a noob stomper. A big thank you to Hank=NoSkill, also known as Angel, for helping out with this video. And, as always, thanks for watching. Watch this video, or this playlist, or join the Discord server.